This is my dad. Movie star handsome, bootstrap boy, salesman smile. As a very young child, I understood what charisma was because that's what my dad had. This indefinable something that lit up whatever room he walked into and made everyone nearby want a little piece of him, or in some cases, a great big piece. I knew about charisma long before I knew there was a word for it. When I was little, the neighbor kids would show up at the door and ring the bell, and I'd run outside all excited until they told me they wanted my dad to come out and play. In high school, my girlfriends couldn't stop telling me how handsome he was, and my guy friends, they thought he was cool and funny. I was glad my friends liked him, but it's pretty weird to be 16 and realize your dad is the life of your party. What was his secret? Did he truly have charisma? Where did it come from? How many other regular people out there have it? And is having it everything it's cracked up to be? We use the word charisma fairly loosely these days, so I'm on a mission to find out more. And let me tell you, when you start digging into the world of charisma, there are some pretty interesting surprises along the way.
Since the time I was 15, I've been traveling in Pentecostal and charismatic circles. So I always heard that word in the sense of it used in a supernatural sense. Charis meaning grace or gift, something from God.
A kind of joy, I think, in that engagement with another person.
It's a constellation of a very sophisticated communication and social skills.
If somebody walks in a room and they just have this energy or they have this spark that you notice them and you're drawn to them, and if you're drawn to them and then they talk or begin a process of communication and it's exciting, it's intellectual, it's invigorating, and then you feel better because of having met them.
Some of the skills are in emotional abilities, and some of the skills are in verbal abilities, and then some involve your ability to read and understand social situations and act in those social situations.
Everybody's desperate to connect with other human beings. And so to me, charisma is about being able to connect with another human being.
I always assumed it was something that was like this natural element of someone's personality that draws people to them. But then I had somebody tell me they wanted to work on their charisma. And that kind of, I didn't think you could do that.
Charisma is a political phenomenon, the attribute of a particular individual who has the ability to move people and influence people and change society.
A unique style, or some sense of people admire them or want to be them, and in a sense, I think that there's some part of that that means that they're cool.
It's almost something that's radioactive. It almost glows.
In order to be a successful DJ, you have to have some degree of charisma. You're getting up there and you're saying, like, yeah, I'm Baba Fats, and I'm the only person who's going to play this music this way. And you should like that. The environment itself also has charisma, this intangible, like, people want to be a part of this. They're a part of this moment and they can just feel it. It's that perfect song, it's that you're with the perfect crowd. And so there is charisma in the moment, I think, absolutely.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Coleen Hubbard.
My mother.
My mother.
Women have more sort of charisma potential. When we think of famous charismatic people, very few charismatic women come to mind, because we usually think of people who are in the media, so we think of celebrities, or we think of charisma in terms of leaders, and then presidents come to mind, and we haven't had any women presidents, and in fact we have very few women CEOs. So the person who has the highest charisma of the U.S. presidents is FDR, and he transformed society in many ways with the reforms that came about during his tenure as president.
As much as I hate to say it, I think Kanye West has a ton of charisma.
When I think of charisma in yogi, I think of three words: magical, a little bit mysterious, and magnetism.
I met the ultimate charisma machine. I run to the ladies' room and I call my boyfriend Isaac and I say from the stall, "Honey, oh my God, you're not gonna believe it's Bill Clinton." Bill Clinton absolutely has it.
If Jennifer Lopez walked into this room, I would probably be stunned by her.
The reason cowboys and that lifestyle and cowgirls or ranch women are charismatic is because they have dealt with natural elements. I think it's a very hard life, and they are always, suck up to it and get the job done. And working with animals, as with horses, you have to be their leader. And even herding cattle, you have to sort of be their leader so they don't panic and you don't lose them all.
I've seen her with in so many different arenas and environments, and she just has all these friends, and every one of us feels like we're her best friend.
Charisma is making other people comfortable and respecting their needs, and then that also then gives you the ability to get them to do things for you or to create a more dynamic group.
Yeah, Linda's got it all. Yeah, Linda's an electric light bulb.
But we also have the dark side. So we have charismatic leaders like Adolf Hitler.
He comes on the scene with his presence, and people talk about how when they'd go to these rallies and they'd see him talk, they had an apocalyptic experience. The world opened up before them, heaven and earth, and they use these kinds of terms about how magnetic he was. A lot of people, obviously in Germany, were willing to abandon everything they'd learned up to that point about morality, about traditional structures, and follow his vision.
I think I connect with people. I think somebody who has real charisma connects with people right away. Like last year, I was taking care of this older woman, and I thought, this will be perfect for me. She's gonna love me. Old people like to tell their stories. I'll sit there and I'll get her story. And the first day there, I was chatting with her, and I'm like, so tell me. She goes, what, are you writing a book? I tried my charisma. I tried so hard to have charisma with this little crabby bitch, but it didn't work. She fired me. People who have real charisma don't lie. They tell the truth about things. Because when you see me on stage, I'm me kind of exaggerated. Or I'm me saying the things that I would like to say in real life, and I never could say because, you get in trouble for that stuff.
And they smush it as flat as a pancake. Let me tell you, eating pancakes after this is really hard. But just when you thought, this is enough for one day, they convince you that they need a vertical view. So they come in with 2 more plates of glass and smush them as flat as a torpedo ready to take off. At this point, I'm convinced a man must have invented this.
Do you think your charisma changes when you're in a different phase of bipolar?
Oh yeah. And I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how many people with charisma suffer from depression sometimes, anxiety. A lot of people have been diagnosed bipolar. I've decided to diagnose myself tripolar. I think that actually cost me as a mother sometimes. I think I became so involved with other people and bringing these parties and having these kids. I think on one hand my kids had a social life and got to be around all sorts of people and genres of people because of that. But I think sometimes when I should have maybe been spending more time with them, I was busy, arranging these parties. People who have charisma are fucked up.
There are people who need to be inspired, and they're looking for for that larger figure, whether it's your minister, whether it's an actor, whether it's a movie star or a teacher, and they're looking for those models as they shape their life.
People are hungry for something transcendent, and it's like often that quality does feel that way.
We want to connect to something that's larger.
I think charismatic people nourish people.
We need to be enchanted.